Ahead on NewsWatch, sending a message of unity. See a recap of the president's speech last night and hear what's ahead as he seeks to unify the nation. Plus, Good Father, we're sitting down with the leader of the band House Fires. Hear what inspired the worship tune now sang in churches across the nation. And snagging thieves. See how undercover police are using the latest technology to stop burglars from targeting your car. And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. President Trump is riding a momentous wave following his joint address to Congress. White House correspondent Jennifer Wishon reports he needs to capitalize on that wave to start moving his agenda along on Capitol Hill.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
With one speech, President Donald Trump set out to unify a divided nation, inspire the future, and assure Americans he intends to keep his promises. What we're witnessing today, he says, is a renewal of the American spirit.
Our allies will find that America is once again ready to lead.
He set the tone with a public commemoration of Black History Month while reflecting on the work that remains.
Recent threats targeting Jewish community centers and vandalism of Jewish cemeteries, as well as last week's shooting in Kansas City, remind us that while we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
He calls education the civil rights issue of our day and suggests allowing school choice will help revitalize urban regions failing minority youths. Despite court delays of his so-called travel ban order, the president doubled down on his promise to get tough on illegal immigration.
We are removing gang members, drug dealers, and criminals that threaten our communities and prey on our very innocent citizens. Bad ones are going out as I speak.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the president hit a home run. He succeeded in offering details for some of his plans congressional Republicans can rally behind as he works to gain some badly needed legislative victories.
We should ensure that Americans with pre-existing conditions have access to coverage and that we have a stable transition for Americans currently enrolled in the health care exchanges.
In one of the night's most moving moments, the president recognized Corinne Owens, widow of Senior Chief Ryan Owens, who was killed in a covert raid against al-Qaeda in Yemen, the first service member to die under Trump's watch. Tears streamed down her cheeks as members of Congress stood and clapped for several minutes.
For as the Bible teaches us, there is no greater act of love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Ryan laid down his life for his friends, for his country, and for our freedom.
In an effort to appeal to evangelicals and Rust Belt voters who put Trump in the White House, Democrats chose a folksy response. Former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear recounted his Baptist heritage, patriotism, and family values from a diner in Lexington as he criticized the president for rolling back regulations, waging war on immigrants, and calling to repeal Obamacare.
You know, in 2010, this country made a commitment that every American deserved health care they could afford and rely on. And we Democrats are going to do everything in our power to keep President Trump and the Republican Congress from reneging on that commitment.
Meanwhile, the president asked Congress to dream big and dare bold moves for the nation.
This is our vision. This is our mission. But we can only get there together. We are one people with one destiny. We all bleed the same blood. We all salute the same great American flag. And we all are made by the same God.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
And as Jennifer mentioned in that report, the president also used his address to condemn a wave of anti-Semitic threats and vandalism in the United States. His critics have called him lax in denouncing it. But last night, the president spoke about that at the very top of his speech. Heather Sells has that part of the story.
In his first address to the joint session of Congress, President Trump wasted no time talking about Black History Month, the struggle for civil rights, and anti-Semitic acts across the country.
Recent threats targeting Jewish community centers and vandalism of Jewish cemeteries, as well as last week's shooting in Kansas City, remind us that while we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
The Anti-Defamation League reports more than 90 threats or incidents of anti-Semitism in just the last 2 months.
They said that they had a bomb, that they had planted a bomb and that they planned to kill us.
The latest threats have forced the evacuation of 2 Jewish community centers in California's Bay Area, plus the San Francisco office of the Anti-Defamation League. The League is an international organization that fights anti-Semitism.
That's really scary to hear that there was a bomb threat.
On Monday, more than 20 Jewish facilities across the U.S. received threats. Jewish cemeteries have also become targets. Vandals have desecrated 2 in the last week. Volunteers came together to work in this Philadelphia graveyard after vandals toppled scores of headstones.
Definitely a hate crime, definitely, and I think it was organized.
Jewish leaders actually aren't sure if anti-Semitism or simple maliciousness motivated those behind this. The mayor of Philadelphia said an investigation will take top priority.
This country's in a bad spot, and this stuff has to be called out right away. It's got to be investigated. We got to try to find these people and lock them up.
The president also tweeted his denunciation of hate crimes, sending a clear message that the country stands united in opposing these vicious acts. Heather Sells, CBN News.
President Donald Trump reversed President Obama's transgender bathroom order last week. Now many are wondering what that means for several ongoing court cases. One of them is the case of Gavin Grimm, a transgender student who wanted to use the boys' bathroom at Gloucester High School in Virginia. When his school denied the request, Grimm sued. The case goes to the Supreme Court next month. But President Obama's transgender order was a part of that case. And now that it's gone, some suspect the Supreme Court may simply push the case back to lower courts to be decided. Millions of Americans call themselves Christians, but how does their faith shape their worldview? A new Barna Group study says not so much. It found that more than 7 out of 10 Americans call themselves Christians, but just 1 out of every 10 were able to answer basic questions about the Bible and their faith. The results are alarming for many Christians. George Barna, who authored the study, believes American Christians want to start changing the culture, but they're going to have to start with their own worldviews first. We turn now to China, where 5 Christians are being sent to prison for buying and selling devotionals. That is according to the Christian human rights organization China Aid. The group of leaders were arrested last June for allegedly buying and selling, quote, officially forbidden Christian devotional books. But last week, a court sentenced them to 3 to 7 years in jail. According to China Aid, the communist government in China has been cracking down on underground Christian churches. Still ahead, you've probably heard the song Good, Good Father. Today, we're hearing from the dad who wrote that song. The band House Fires can trace its origin back to 2009 in Atlanta, when a few people came together to start a church with a different kind of feeling. Well, not only did they start a church, they created a music movement. I sat down with the lead member of the band in Studio 5 to talk about their journey and their hit song, Good, Good Father. Take a look.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring.
When did you come to music or music come to you? What happened?
Ooh, I like the way you said that. So my dad's a pastor in Atlanta. So I grew up around the church and music, and so faith, music, all of it was kind of the same. We had like a garage band in my neighborhood, and it was just a way to have fun with friends. Music was this vehicle of connection and communion and expression with God that really started to set me free. I remember this young evangelist from the UK came to my dad's church, and I was playing in the youth praise band at the time, and it's a really small non-denominational church. And afterwards he came up to me and he looked at me and he said, "This message was for you."
Wow.
And I was like, whatever, right? Yeah.
Oh, you're bold.
You would think it would be like, oh, but it wasn't. It was just kind of like, yeah. And he says, "No, you are going to write songs." And at the time I had not sung. He says, "You're going to use your voice, you're going to sing, and you're going to lead people in worship."
Worthy of every song we could ever sing.
House fires, the name. What's the meaning behind that?
The place where normal, unguarded, real life happens is a home, right? And that's where you learn patience with your spouse and kindness to your kids, and you know, that's like the real stuff. And so that's where it needs to burn the brightest, right?
One of your more popular songs, "Good Good Father." Did you write that?
I'm one of the writers, yeah.
Oh, I heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like.
As I would listen and all these things, you start to notice slightly different threads of like, when you get down to it, this person says God is like this. And this other person will say God is like this. And this other person will say God is like this. So now, which isn't a big deal when you're young, but when I started having kids, and I'm looking at my daughter, Harper Gray, and I'm like, how am I going to explain God to you? How am I going to introduce you to someone who's so transformed my life? What am I going to tell you he's like?
Because you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you.
As we worship to that song in our own community, like we were being healed from things we didn't even know we needed to be healed from, right? Wow. We're like all just experiencing just a recalibrating of our hearts again. To see that same thing connect with so many people has been so humbling, so mind-blowing, surprising. But also so encouraging that message is something we can stand on.
You are here on the campus of Regent University, so obviously your music resonates with college students. Why do you think that is?
There seems to be a pull and a lean towards things that aren't presented as perfect and polished, and to have worship sound like worship and expression in music carry that texture. I think that's the reason why it resonates with me. You know, I want my kids to, when we talk about worship, I don't want the first image that they have to be Sunday, big stage, lights, fog, cameras, action. You know what I mean? Like right. The first thought I want when we talk about worship is just my real life before God.
And for the latest in uplifting entertainment news, make sure to check out my weekly show, Studio 5. You can watch it by going to cbn.com/Studio 5. Up next, using cars for bait, police are reeling in the thieves. Our own Chuck Holton rides along to make a drop when we come back. If you're like me and many Americans, you've had your car broken into and something of value stolen, and it can be a hard crime to solve. But right now in Fort Worth, Texas, a special operations unit is using cars as bait to catch those thieves. Chuck Holton recently went undercover with the Fort Worth police to bring us the story.
It's nearly midnight on a dark stretch of freeway on the outskirts of Fort Worth, Texas. This pickup has been sitting by the side of the road for several hours, apparently broken down. Some hardworking landscaper or construction worker must have had a pretty bad day, but it's about to get worse. A car stops behind the vehicle, and the driver decides to help himself to a valuable yard trimmer in the back of the pickup. Several miles away, an undercover police detective gets a text message. Moments later, he's on the move. A tracker embedded in the trimmer is signaling the location of the thief, and police soon track it to a home halfway across town. With permission from the homeowner, they search the premises and find the trimmer and take the thief into custody. A background check reveals a lengthy criminal history spanning decades and nearly 60 prior arrests, the kind of career criminal they often see in cases like this one. It's a nuisance most people will confront at some point in their lives: burglary of a motor vehicle. Even if you haven't been robbed, anyone who pays for car insurance is affected, as rates increase to cover the rising costs of these crimes. But the insurance industry is partnering with police departments across the country to deter auto burglary and theft, and is seeing tangible results. Here in Fort Worth, it's known as the COBRA program. Jerry Allen is a liaison between the Fort Worth Police and the National Insurance Crime Bureau, a nonprofit organization funded by the insurance industry.
They're trying to reduce insurance fraud. They're trying to reduce paying claims, obviously, that they don't have to pay if we can take these guys off the street. If they don't have to pay claims, obviously, that reflects in lower premiums for the American people. Law enforcement side is, obviously, we want to reduce crime. By taking these people off the street, we're preventing them from committing other crimes on a daily basis.
Today's operation starts by looking at a heat map of high crime areas around the city. From that, these officers decide where to deploy more than a dozen bait cars. They're short-staffed, so I get to go along to help with a drop. So with so many vehicles to put out on today's operation, I get to help by driving this car. You can see that they're trying to make it as realistic as possible. They've got garbage on the floor, there's a laptop in this case right here, and I'm supposed to follow them to the drop site and then just pull over and get out of the car and leave it running and just walk away.
By doing this, law enforcement is able to put vehicles and property out for potential thieves, giving them the ability to steal a city vehicle and city property instead of a citizen's property.
If they hit mine and they get put in jail, then they're not going to hit somebody else's.
Detective J.C. Harder helped start the COBRA unit in Fort Worth more than a decade ago and has helped to develop many of the technologies used in the program, making it one of the most successful programs of its kind.
Bait cars is just a different tool to catch people that don't normally get caught. We use micro type trackers that are really small, and we hide them very well. And when the items are being tracked, we're on a website watching a GPS map, and we send officers out to find it. We give them a location, the traveling location of the property. Most of our vehicles are donated to us by insurance companies through the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Okay, so after a few hours of putting vehicles out around the city, the garage is empty, and now we wait. Each one of the bait cars that we put out is equipped with multiple cameras, like this little pinhole camera here. Almost impossible to see, but they're recording everything going on in and around each vehicle. And so anybody that comes to pick them up, we got them. Sometimes people have a problem with them using this method, saying it seems a little like entrapment. But these cops disagree, because people who burglarize cars are often the same criminals responsible for a host of other crimes.
They always have the ability to pass that vehicle up just like you or I would and go home. So you can see why the insurance industry would have a vested interest in stopping or mitigating auto theft, auto burglary, cargo theft, heavy equipment theft. They're paying out large dollars that are in the end being passed on to the consumer.
What kind of society would I want my children to live in? We would rather them steal our vehicle than steal your vehicle.
And the program has been very successful. Since its inception, the Fort Worth COBRA unit has made more than 1,400 arrests, and due in part to today's operation, they're on track for another record year.
Hopefully the criminals know that we have bait cars out there, so they might think twice about getting in a vehicle that looks too good to be true.
These guys are out there every day working for you and me, usually in the middle of the night. They don't wear uniforms. They work undercover to reduce auto theft, to reduce crime in your neighborhoods, and I've never been more proud working with an organization like the Fort Worth Police Department.
From Fort Worth, Texas, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
A program we could see spreading. Stay with us. There's more of CBN NewsWatch straight ahead. And welcome back. It is time now for your Wednesday word. And today I have two for you. No excuses. Consider this. Faith without works is dead. It is now time to take action and stop making excuses for inaction. No excuses. Your action in faith will meet God where you are, and you will watch him do more than you can imagine. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing us, newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you right back here come tomorrow.